Good morning. A few things. I've been needing to film this video. I was slacking. And it's basically talking about the pros and cons of my Thailand trip. I recorded it, started editing, but my iMovie that I was using to record or to edit my video kept crashing. I actually had to delete it twice. And so here I am just filming another one. Basically just gotta get ready for work and then just talk to you as I get ready. I don't know how much I'll be explaining what I'm putting on my face, but I'll show you what I got. Here we go. Got my good old trusty makeup bag. If I can find what I want to put on my face. Somewhere. Oh, okay, here we go. Moisturizer, sunscreen. Some of the pros. Food in general was like the highlight of my trip. Food, I'm a big foodie. Obviously, you've seen my videos. Food was amazing, even as simple as like vegetables, sauteed vegetables and whatever sauce seasoning that they had was just so amazing. I would have veggies and rice or veggies and noodles like every day for breakfast. There wasn't a single thing that I didn't like. Everything was top tier, lovely, big fan. The second thing was that it wasn't crowded. I guess that's a pro and con, a con for the country, but a pro for tourists. All of the top best sightseeing spots weren't crowded. One of the places that we went to was Patong Beach. There's like this alleyway or this street where they have a lot of bars, restaurants, nightclubs, a little bit of shopping. There's usually a ton of people and they're usually shoulder to shoulder walking the streets. But since we were there during like, I guess the end of COVID, there wasn't a lot of tourists and it was easy to get to and from places. Another place was the James Bond Island. Usually before COVID times, there's like this lookout point and you have to go up the stairs to the other side of the island, and usually it's jam-packed that there's a waiting line to go up the stairs just to see the other side. When we had gone to the island, we were probably like one of 3 of the groups that were there sightseeing. Oh, the spas, you guys, the spas were absolutely amazing. So a lot of people went to the spas that were kind of near the hotel, which actually they're all near the hotel. The spas have a courtesy van shuttle that will pick you up from the hotel or wherever you're at, and they will drive you to the spa. A lot of the people from our group are going to like more like affordable spas that are more common to what we know. It's like, you know, either at a strip mall and, you know, it's like a building, has separate rooms, whatever. But the spa that we went to was called Oasis, and it was so luxurious. Everything was like top tier. Like I said, most people go to like the separate rooms. These were cabanas, like their own like separate condo apartment buildings. Like each room was a building, and then so it would have their like, you know, massage room, and then connected to that was like this outdoor shower thing with like its own restroom. I have a video, check it out if you don't know what I'm talking about. But yeah, it was so amazing. The service, the massages. Me and my family basically went 3 days, but we wish we would have found it earlier. It was amazing. So definitely Oasis Spa, and check out the video. The hotel location was basically on like the tourist side. From what I was told by like our tour guide, there's all of the tourist side, and then there's the local side. The location of our hotel was amazing. It was called Dusit Dani, I think it was called. And it was walking distance to a 24-hour like Family Mart, Bodega, 7-Eleven, whatever you guys call it back home. It was nice if you needed like any snacks or any food, drinks. And then in the same area during the day, there's like a strip mall, and there was a lot of stores that you can get to, which a lot of them were kind of closed because COVID shut down, but there was enough opened. And even our COVID testing site was at that strip mall. Worked out, you know, we just walked to get our COVID test to get back into the States. Another pro was Singapore Airlines. On my way to Singapore, I brought my own food. I brought my own pasta because I knew it'd keep well. I just had regular red pasta. I had like a gallon bag and I was just eating it out of the bag. There was another veggie in our group, and so he was able to tell one of the flight attendants like, hey, like, is there any like leftover vegetarian food? He didn't specify his dietary restrictions when he, you know, booked the trip, and they were able to find him like an extra vegetarian meal and give it to him. The plus side to this is what I'm getting to, is that the airlines was able to, on their like work tablet, computer system, whatever they did, they were able to specify his dietary restrictions and apply it to his return flight. So him and his partner were actually listed as a vegetarian meal on our return flight from Phuket to Singapore, Singapore to LA. His partner, however, was not vegetarian, so it worked out in my favor, and he gave me all the vegetarian food. I thought this was amazing because on most airlines, or the airlines that I've been on, it's usually like, oh, sorry, we were only catered, but we were catered. You should have specified it when you bought your ticket. End story. But Singapore Airlines went like above and beyond and, you know, put his dietary restrictions. Win-win for everyone. Next time I know, just to tell a flight attendant or just book and say that I'm a vegetarian. The sanctuary that I went to was also a pro. It was Green Elephant Sanctuary. A few things. If and when you ever go to Thailand or anywhere where there's elephant like attraction, do not ride the elephants. That is animal cruelty. Like, really, do you think the elephants want you on their back? No. Make sure you find a cruelty-free sanctuary. The one that we went to was amazing. They gave us a lot of info and background of the elephants and the treatment of the elephants. The day of the sanctuary, basically met each elephant, fed them, and then gave them a mud bath in this kind of like muddy area, and then took them to this watering hole and kind of like splashed them, cooled them off, and then took them to this large, basically like shower for the elephants, and then like scrubbed them down. They loved it. And then at the end there was food. So, you know, love the food, love the elephants. Make sure you go to a sanctuary if you are trying to see any elephants. There is elephants near the Big Buddha, but those ones for sure you can see that they are not cruelty free because they have seats attached to these elephants, and yeah, they are not cruelty free. We even saw like elephants carrying like lumber, like going up this mountain. No, do not do it. Not a fan. This is like the number one pro of my whole trip was, or going on a trip, is having a planner. I did this trip with my sister and her work friends, and her work friends are very seasoned travelers. They do these big trips all the time. And Elena, shout out to Elena, she planned this whole trip. She even did all of the paperwork. And with this whole COVID restriction thing, she did everything all filled all our paperwork, found all of that. And we were all set. So maybe she was stressing, I don't know. She's a seasoned traveler, so she knows exactly what forms we need and what needs to be done before the trip. So she handled it. Shout out to Elena. Okay, some of our cons. This is more of a personal con, and it was my COVID test. Going from LAX to Singapore, I did not have the correct paperwork for the COVID test. So I took the right test. The insurance provider hospital that I went to get my COVID test, it was a PCR test, and that's what you need for travel. Once I got my confirmation on my app, it said COVID-19/PCR test. But when you click the link, nowhere on the form did it say PCR test, and that's what they look for. So I wasn't gonna chance it, get all the way to Singapore and then have them like detain me, well, or whatever it is. So I had to go off-site, take a shuttle, take a bus, and also Uber to get to this urgent care and pay out of pocket. I can't even remember. It was like $100, $150. I can't remember, but I have a video about that whole debacle. Had to pay out of pocket for this COVID test. Luckily, I was at the airport early, handled it. Okay, now the humidity, the heat, the mask need. It's just all one big thing. The climate there is very humid. It's humid and hot. I want to say year round. Our tour guide said there's hot season and hotter season. I don't know which season we were in, but it was just hot. And since they had a lot of COVID restrictions, they really enforced the masks. So hence, I still have mask need, trying to handle that. Yeah, big thing. One of my coworkers is such a doll that I'm actually working with right now. She hooked me up with some Retina A to handle this. Another thing that also kind of helped me, this is kind of like a sidebar, with the heat is I'm a very sweaty gal. Even in the cold months of New York, I am sweating, I am hot. I was recommended this by my laser specialist in New York probably a few months ago, and I kind of held off by telling people about it because she said some people, they'll get the fake one or the wrong one and they'll break out into hives or whatever. But I got this one and it has worked wonders. It is the Thai Crystal Deodorant Stick. I got mine at Whole Foods for $9. And let me tell you, I've had it for 3 or 4 months now, and I've barely made a dent. And before I even pulled the trigger of even buying this, because I was kind of like, it's a crystal, how is this gonna keep me from sweating? So I actually went on my Instagram and asked people about it, and I got so many replies. People have loved it. And before you say like, oh, you're not that sweaty, whatever, a man living in one of the most hottest places in California, one of them, recommended it to me. So don't try to say like, oh, it's a female deodorant. No, a man actually backed me up on this and said, yeah, use this deodorant. Basically what you do is you wet a little, rub it on your underarms for like 20 or 30 times, rinse it off, do the other side, rinse it off, wipe it down, boom. And you don't have sweaty, smelly, stinky underarms. So I'm not sponsored at all. I wish whoever makes this sponsor me. Working wonders. My sister got, it's called the Crystal brand, and it still says like Thai. It's like, instead of saying Thai, it says Crystal, and it's a blue packaging. She actually tried that one. She said she broke out. She got like a little rash from it. So she uses it every other day and she's fine. So this one, you want this one, Whole Foods, $9. Go get you some. And then the quarantine transfer. You guys, going from Phuket to Thailand was fine. And then, Phuket to Singapore. Whoa. Singapore, we had like a 6-hour sit time until our LA flight was leaving. So I was like, cool, 6 hours in Singapore airport. That's like one of the most beautiful airports ever. And I was like, great, I get to go do some shopping. They have like Louis Vuitton, they have Chanel, they have all these luxury brands. And they have this beautiful fountain that's like in the middle of the airport. And I was so excited to see it all. Wrong, because we transferred and we're traveling and they're trying to keep down the spread of Miss Corona. We basically got shoved and put in this small area of the airport and had to stay there for 5 hours until our plane departed. There was like seating areas, a few TVs, minimal plugs. There was a bathroom, there's a bathroom, vending machines, and one coffee stand, and that was it. For 5 hours, just sat there. People were also able to get food delivery, but it would take like 45 minutes to an hour, so you had to plan accordingly. That was kind of a damper. I really wanted to see and go shopping, get duty free. That did not happen. I'm gonna have to go to Singapore Airport one more time just to see the beauty of it all. Some of my tips, this is the Anastasia bra freeze, whatever. Some of my tips would have to be, 1, traveling in a carry-on. I was able to travel and pack everything in a carry-on. Little controversial because I'm smaller, so some of my clothes are smaller, but I literally thought about exactly what I wanted to wear. Every single piece of clothing that I packed, I wore. There was nothing extra. Everyone else brought these giant, massive check-in bags and didn't wear half of their stuff. On top of that, when I weighed my bag was like 40 pounds, and theirs is, the cutoff 50. So I'm just gonna say we basically packed the same thing. Yeah. And then if you don't wanna travel back home with dirty clothes, go to a laundromat. A lot of the hotels, my hotel did not have one there, but a lot of hotels have guest laundry. They're very cheap and affordable. They're usually like $2 a load. Actually, yesterday I did a load of laundry at this hotel and it was $1 each. Like I was saying, the spas had a complimentary shuttle service. People from the group were doing is they were bringing their laundry. They would have the driver drop them off at a laundromat, and the laundromat would actually do all of their clothes for $5, wash, dry, fold them for $5. And so while that's going on, they would go to their spa, get a massage, 3 to 4, 5 hours, whatever, how long their session was. Then their driver would take them to go pick up their laundry and then take them back. So it was a win-win-win. So yeah, no dirty clothes here. Another thing is bring your own food. So like I said, from California to Singapore, I brought my own pasta, brought my own food, which I was okay with because I don't rely on other people to have food for me. So I had to fend for myself, brought my own food. Even when you're traveling here in the States, don't think that they're gonna have steak and lobster on the plane. No, you're gonna get cookies, pretzels, and Chex Mix or whatever that they have on the plane. Plan ahead, bring your own food. You can get food at the airport, but the airport food is priced up like $10 more than what it would be like at the grocery store, at the bodega. Bring your own food when you're traveling. Bring your own empty water bottle so you can fill it up at the airport, because they're just gonna give you a small little cup on the airplane. And then also read the signs when you are traveling. A lot of people get so stressed out because one, that they didn't plan enough time to get through security. So I guess show up and read the signs. So show up early to get through TSA, depending on what time of the year it is. If it's like holiday season, spring break, show up early. Everyone and their moms are going to be traveling. And then also just look up and read the signs. Like, it will literally say baggage claim this way, airport shuttle this way, air train to get to the other gates this way. Like, just look up, read the signs. There are employees around the airport to help you, but if you think about it, where are they? Look up, read the signs, show up early, travel with a carry-on, and make sure it's regulatory size, because sometimes if you travel in Europe, their carry-on is like teeny tiny. So know what the carry-on size is. It's basically me getting ready. I don't really wear a lot of makeup because the mask covers everything. I honestly just do brows, lashes, and then I just put like face powder so my face doesn't get oily. I got these from Thailand. Don't know if you'll be able to find it. Everything else you can get in the States. So thank you for watching this video. Sorry it took me so long. And hope you have happy holidays and happy new year. See you on my next video.